I'm going to give it just 10 more seconds for people to get in, and then we're going to get started.
Countdowns begin.
Okay, well, good afternoon. This is Parham Zar. I'm the Managing Director of Egg Donor and Surrogacy Institute. I am truly delighted to be speaking and having a conversation with three of our repeat surrogates, all with completely different journeys and with a lot of good advice and stories to share with us. I'm going to start, first of all, for everybody who's joining, and as people are joining, I'm letting them in. I would appreciate if you would mute yourselves and enjoy. If you have any questions that you want to send to me, either privately or in the group, please put it in the chat. I will try to pose those questions to our surrogates and give them an opportunity to answer them. So I'm delighted to welcome three of our surrogates. We have Shara, Amanda, and Charlene on, and you'll have an opportunity to meet each one and hear about their journeys, and then I'll open it up to some questions and answers from them. So without further ado, Shara, I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey and what you're doing now.
Sure. So I'm Shara. I am in Texas. I have a family at home. I had an opportunity to try and be a surrogate a couple of years ago. We didn't have any success. I took a break and had another child of my own. And I was able to reconnect with EDSI this last year, get matched with an amazing family, and I am successfully carrying a baby for them, and I'm 7 weeks and a few days along.
Amazing. How many weeks? 7 weeks?
7 weeks and 3 days.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
You just had the heartbeat.
Yes.
Okay. You don't know what it is yet, huh?
No, they did 2 embryo transfers, so we don't know yet what is with us.
Okay. Glad to hear that. All right. And Amanda, I'm so happy that you're on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and what you have done so far?
Yeah, so my name's Amanda. I live in Arizona. I actually got started, I just completed my first journey in March. I delivered a successful baby 4 days to her due date. So she's right there, almost 40 weeks. So perfectly healthy baby. I got started because I was actually previously married for 4 years and we couldn't have kids. And I was devastated because I knew I did want my own. We did go get testing. I was fine, found out it was him. Decided we wanted different things, so we did go different ways. But when I got remarried, we had kids right away, and I had really easy pregnancies, really easy deliveries. So I felt like this was a gift I wanted to share. So I was excited to help other families bring them a precious little baby too. So just finished my first, and I'm excited. I can't wait to do another one.
Terrific. And last but not least, we're going to ask Charlene to please introduce yourself and tell us about your 3 journeys.
Hi, I'm Charlene. I'm from California. I got involved with EDSI for the same kind of reasons for Amanda. Me and my husband had a hard time getting pregnant. So we did testing and stuff, and it was actually me though.
We lost you on the audio a little bit.
Better, but worse.
You sound far away again.
I don't know why it does that.
Technical difficulties. Let's try and yeah. Let's see if we can hear you.
Sound far away.
All right, let me have to reconnect it.
You were good at the beginning.
How's this?
Okay.
Good.
Better?
Much better.
But same, we had technical difficulties, but now I can't hear you. That's the problem.
Can you hear us now? Okay, you know, Yeah, we can't hear you right now. So I'm going to actually start with some questions, and then hopefully you can, if you can fix and just chime in, and then we'll get right back to you.
Okay.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Can
Yeah,
you hear
that
me now?
sounds good. Yeah.
I don't know why it's acting up today.
Oh,
It
this is
is.
perfect. We can hear you perfectly now.
Okay, but so my story goes that we had a hard time getting pregnant, me and my husband, but it was me. I was the one that was having technical difficulties. We were able to solve that issue. We have two more beautiful children of our own, which brought me to Edith's Eye, who people who can't have children, knowing the struggle, and I just want to help the families out, which I've had 3 successful years, one single, two set of twins, and another single.
When was the last delivery that you had as a surrogate?
In December of this last year.
Excellent. Yes,
So
COVID days.
yes, before COVID, I'm very thankful for that.
Mine too. It was right before the hospitals got shut down. Since I had her in March, I got lucky.
So I want to start, I'm going to just ask you, one of the questions that we get quite often from our intended parents is, who are the surrogates? And is it really about the money? Is it for the money? Are they doing it, for the financial gain? So, and of course, my answer to them is always, there are much, much easier ways for a woman to make a living or to earn money, that it goes way beyond that. And even though the money is always an important factor in the conversations that we have, but there are not many women on earth that do what you guys do. So I want them to really hear it from you. We'll start with Shara, and tell me why it is that you became a surrogate.
I was actually at my mom's house when I was about 17, taking a walk, and I ran into one of her new neighbors. She was very much pregnant, and my automatic response was, "Oh, congratulations." And she proceeded to tell me how she was a surrogate. And that was so impactful to me that I had always said that this is something that I wanted to do. So when I also had extremely easy pregnancies, it was a no-brainer for me to start looking into an opportunity to somebody else, because it was it's something that was just dear to my heart.
Did it ever occur to you that how it will have impact your own family, or the dynamics of your family, or conversations that you would have with your children?
So my two are still pretty small. My oldest is 4 years old and my youngest is 18 months. So I'm pretty sure she won't quite understand it. I think he will, but I think because he understands the idea of giving gifts, that I'm going to be able to have him capture the idea that we're giving a gift to somebody else. And this is not a brother or sister for us to bring home. It's they're going to go to their family. So I'm looking forward to that conversation, and I'm curious to see what his input's going to be on it and how he gathers it.
Excellent. And how about you, Amanda?
Yeah, so I'm kind of just going along with wanting to share my gift. I didn't know I want to be a surrogate until after I had my first baby. My sister has an older child, and I kind of watched her go through pregnancy, and it didn't seem as fun. She was always nauseous and hard for her to work. But when I had my baby, or when I was pregnant, I worked, I was taking the stairs, I felt great. It was really easy for me. I loved feeling the movements and just everything about it. So I didn't realize infertility was as common as it is, but now I have been speaking with friends and family who's recently gotten married around the same age, because they're same age as me. So I'm finding that it's a lot more common. So that's just kind of what got me into wanting to help, and then just seeing it. So it's completely up to the parents how much involvement they want. The parents that I just had carried a baby for, she wanted full involvement. So I was sending her videos and pictures, and my kids are about the same age. I have a 2 and 4-year-old. So my 2-year-old didn't understand too much, but my 4-year-old did. So she knew this was our friend's baby, and we were carrying the baby for my friend. And so she saw pictures of the mom, and She actually even came to visit me, so she met my kids and everything, so they knew who the baby was going to, so I think that helped a lot. But my daughter, she seemed like it was kind of fun, like, oh, is, the baby, you see our friend's baby's moving, and so she thought it was really fun. So it's just about, I don't know, the gift I can share.
And what an amazing gift it has been for the family that you created.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, and Charlene, your question is going to be a little different because I wanted to talk about the fact that why did you decide to become a surrogate? But not only that, but to be a surrogate 3 times. That,
Well, I became a surrogate because, again, I've had my own trouble conceiving children, which I was blessed that we were able to resolve that without having to go down the medication route and stuff like that. It took us a little bit longer, but we got there. But that's why I decided to become a surrogate. Now, the reason I could continue to be a surrogate, because there's no better feeling in the world to give someone else that was not able to get there, give them that feeling of their baby. No better feeling in the world to be able to do that for someone else.
amazing. And there are 3 very thankful families out there for you.
Yes.
So if you could could have had one advice when you were deciding to become a surrogate, what advice do you think it would be? Any of you that want to chime in and answer that would be great.
The shots. I would say get a heating pad before you start those shots. It would be a lifesaver versus doing the shots and then doing them afterwards and finding out, oh, I should have done that first.
Good advice to give future surrogates, of course.
Yeah. I asked a lot of questions up front. I wanted to know everything and everything. So it's really great. We actually have the Facebook group with all of the surrogates. So we ask each other questions. Other girls are really, really helpful. So that's where I asked other girls if they had videos of where exactly to do the shots and like the heating pads, cooling pads, rubbing it. So I got all kinds of heating and cooling pads and massagers and all that. It really, really helped. So all those questions I kind of asked all up front, so I knew what I was getting in for. I wanted to know everything.
And Shara, any advice that you wish you had before you began your journey?
Well, I felt like I was pretty well prepared after quite a few conversations with Miss Kelly that the shots were going to be invasive. But honestly, the one thing that I would probably say is just to be prepared that not everybody understands surrogacy. They don't understand why you would do something so big for somebody that may not actively be in your life. So just be prepared that people don't understand. Sometimes it takes a little while to explain it.
And actually, that's a really important topic that I'd love to discuss with you. How do you deal with people who don't understand or who have a negative view or who possibly attack you about what this amazing miracle that you're bringing into somebody else's life, and they just don't understand?
Again, just like with Amanda and Charlene, they've had personal impacts where infertility has either been at their own doorstep or at friends and family around them. I also had friends and family who had some ongoing issues, and seeing their struggles for so long, it was definitely that much easier to say, I have a personal experience that I know somebody may be struggling, and this is a choice. It's not an easy choice for an intended parent to give something so precious for somebody else to take care of. So, and that's truly what we do as surrogates. We're able to take care of somebody's baby until they can.
How do you respond to someone who gives you the negative comments or how could you type questions?
I've been lucky enough I haven't had too much of that. More education comes with a whole lot of sugar added onto the top. I haven't had a lot of negative pushback, which has been pretty great. I've been surrounded by a lot of great support.
Great. And how about you, Charlene, Amanda?
I've had the same thing, very little negative that goes around surrogacy. Usually it's all positive. I think the biggest question I get is, don't you get attached to the child that you're carrying? And in some ways you do, but like I said, there's no greater feeling once you see your IPs with their baby. There's just no greater feeling.
And IPs means intended parents, the
Yeah.
parents of the baby, yes. Of course, I mean, yes, you know, what I always say is, you know, I wish people could be in that room at the delivery and there is no dry eye in that room. And everybody is sharing such an amazing moment together.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't gotten a lot of negativity either, but I do get a lot of curious questions. And I think my main one is the same as, how do you give the baby up? And I think just going into this, knowing that 100% this is not your baby, this is already embryo created, you're doing this for them. You just know this is not your baby. You're basically just babysitting for 40 weeks. You're just protecting this baby, growing this baby, making sure they're healthy until mom and dad can take the baby. So just having the right mindset going into this, of the reasons why you're doing it, and you know, just how excited you are to be able to give this baby to these parents, makes everything worth it. So yeah, that day when you hand over the baby, that's everything. Just to see the parents' faces.
Tell me, how was the, let's say the first time that you met the intended parents? How was that experience for you? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Was it what you expected?
Let me go first.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, both. I was very excited and I was very nervous. So I never got to meet dad actually. My intended parents, or the parents, they're international, but mom did fly in here January. So she got in here before COVID shut everything down, luckily. She flew to California, stayed with a friend, and quarantined herself for a few weeks, make sure she was good before she had come to see me. We got really lucky. She actually found an Airbnb that was right down the street from me. So she came over in February and I was due March 6th. And so she would bring me soup and we would visit. So she came over to my house first time we met, and she met my kids and she was so sweet. She actually had a nanny with her too. So we met both of them and just kind of visited. And then she would go to appointments with me, and we tried to make an appointment to go to the hospital, but they closed. They stopped all those because of COVID. But it was exciting. It was nervous, but it was so exciting. And after it was like natural. We talked every week, almost every day practically. So we still talk every week. So it was great.
That's terrific. Shara, how was your first meeting with your intended parents?
I haven't had the opportunity to meet them in person quite yet. I'm looking forward to that day for sure. But I've had a chance to video chat with them. One of the parents, because they are also international, one of the parents is speaks English quite well, and we communicate very well together. So constant communication is something that they like. So I definitely want to engage with them on that and make sure that they're as comfortable as possible.
And Charlene?
I've had way different. So on my first journey, I actually didn't even meet her till the day I had the baby, which was kind of weird and awkward all at the same time, but we got through it and we still talk. My second journey,
You didn't meet in person, but you were with video
yes,
chat and
with video
communicating.
chat. We didn't meet in person till the day I had the baby,
Right.
so it was a little weird. My second journey, we were actually really closer to the dad than the mom. My husband and the twins' dad hit it off really well, and they actually still talk to this day. So that's always interesting. They like to talk about football. And then my third parents, I actually have a benefit with this one because COVID didn't let them go back to their country. So they're actually here, they're an hour away, and I actually get to talk to them quite often. And before they leave, they said we can visit before they take off and everything backs up.
Amazing.
So I've been spoiled, and I talk to all three of my family still. So I know that's not always the case, but I've been spoiled.
So having the experiences that you guys had, do you have any advice for the future intended parents? Anything that you want them to know as a surrogate?
I would
Yes.
think communication would be one. Sometimes they don't like to communicate because they think they're invading your life, and I would just say you're not. We like to hear from you just as much as you like to hear from us. So
Absolutely, that is very important.
Yeah,
I
so I was
agree with
going to say
that.
too. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 100% their choice. So that's why I like to ask during the video chat of the matching is how much communication they want, because it is 100% their choice. If they want just kind of the basics, here I had an ultrasound, everything was good, or do you want to see videos of movements and hear about hiccups and all the little details? So I let them kind of choose how much interaction, how much communication they want, but yeah, never feel like you're bothering us. If you have questions, ask whatever you want. This is as much journey yours as it is ours.
What factors were important to you when you wanted to, what ideals did you have in your mind when you were trying to pick, let's say, which intended parent you would want to work with? Was there anything that you really wanted to see in them?
mine was communication. My big one was communication. I didn't want someone, um, okay, bye, we're gone forever. I wanted someone, like I didn't want to be 100% involved, but I love getting my pictures. Like, hey, here's a year update. Here's this update. And every parent has hold true to that. Like, hey, this is how big they are. This is what's new in their life, and it's not an everyday thing. It can go months in between, but I really do appreciate when they do come through. Like, oh, he's walking, or oh, he's talking now. I got when my surrogate, one of the only girl I had in my journey, he sent me a little video of Alexa, play Latina music, and then she started boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was so adorable. Mine was communication when I had my video chats, like, how far do you want to take this? And they're like, we can take this as long as you want to talk, we're here to talk. So
And how about you, Shara? Anything that you want to, any advice that you have for the intended parents?
You know, I wouldn't say that I have any advice because every journey is completely different. I don't know what their journey was before I had a chance to meet them. I just know that our journeys are together right now, and we're going through this together. Overall, it's 100% up to them on what they're most comfortable with, whether it be currently or in the future. Um, their family, and I want to respect everything that they've got going on. And I think that's the heart of most of the surrogates that I've encountered is everybody's of the same mind where they just want to, it's not that they're people pleasers, but they definitely want to satisfy the need for the parents that are growing their families.
And if you were to give any advice to future surrogates, what would you want to tell them?
have a support
That's a great
system.
question. Yeah, that's a good one.
Any of you have any ideas on what you would share with them?
I would just say just have a support system. I know on my end, my husband was a big support system, from all the emotionals to hungry craves to just to have a support system. If you don't have a husband, have a friend, have a parent, have something in place so you don't feel like you're there alone.
I
How
would say
important? How important has the Facebook group that we have, the private Facebook group that we have with all of our surrogates at EDSI? How important has that been for your journeys?
Yeah, I love that group. I love it. I've made so many friends. I made a friend in that group and I talked to her every single day. we went through our journeys pretty close together. So that was fun. Actually, it was both of our first journeys too. So we kind of experienced everything together. But just having someone to talk to that understands, who gets the same questions that I get, and just kind of coming up with answers of how to respond to some of those questions. And also we helped each other, like, how did you do your shot? So things like that, because yeah, my husband helped me with all my shots. So having a support system was huge. And also ask questions like Kelly, Stephanie, they're all there for you. And and they're so quick usually to respond, and I've asked at crazy times of the days. And they respond, so it's great. Whenever you have a question, just ask. Don't feel dumb for asking a question. I'm sure the parents would rather have you ask and know. EDSI would rather have you ask and know, so just ask.
Absolutely, very important. And tell me, what factors did you consider when you were choosing an agency to work with?
I have to say, Kelly, she rocks it. I have to say, when I first signed up with you guys, I actually signed up and then didn't communicate with you guys for a year because I started a job and I didn't want to take on both. And all through my journey, Kelly has rocked it. I love her.
Well, we call her our CAO, which is the Chief Angel Officer. So.
Yes, that's a very suitable name for her.
Absolutely. Any other considerations that you guys made?
Yeah, actually, I actually was looking at a few agencies before I did decide to go with EDSI, and there was a couple of things that kind of drew me towards you. So a few different places, they have different requirements on as far as like termination and things like that. And I think that was a huge deal. I want the parents to be happy with the baby they choose, but I also wanted to make sure we weren't just kind of terminating, I guess, for anything. And you guys kind of had the same standards that I was looking for in those regards. And then also just as far as like being more modern with times, there was other agencies that have you drive around to every hospital you delivered at and fill out paperwork and send it in and this and that, and you guys are on top of it. You've got the DocuSign where you just sign everything and you guys get it done for us. You make it so easy and so effortlessly, and just make everything comfortable. So I just loved your process on everything.
Good, thank you. I'm glad that we were able to be that support for you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the very important things to us and our team, is we want to make sure, first of all, that we're available to our surrogates 24/7, and we pretty much are. I hope
Yes.
you guys will testify to that too. You know,
Yes.
we're available 24/7, but because we can't clock out at 5 o'clock. You know, things happen at all hours of the day, and we have to be there. We have to be there to make sure that at least if the nurses don't answer, that we're there to either jump up and down and get some answers, or to make sure that you have the support that you need. Any other advice that you have for either intended parents or the surrogates, or even for us at EDSI? What do you think what do you think would make a surrogate's journey better?
You guys have a really good running ship there. Like I said, I can't remember. I went through a couple surrogacy before I landed on you guys. But like I said, what kept me there was actually Callie, because any phone call, anything that was emotional, she called right back. She was there. Like, she's the one who kept me there. Like, I don't want to go even bother looking for another agency. Like, why would I look for something that you guys rocked it?
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. How about Amanda? Any advice that you might have, or?
I think it's kind of nice when you have that first video chat to kind of get all of your questions out then, for both sides, the surrogate and the intended parents, because I think you're just so nervous and you kind of ask the main things, but you don't get all the little details out. So at the hospital, at my delivery, and I was like, do you want breast milk? So it just kind of just getting those little questions out at the beginning, I think, will help make everything go smoother, and that way it's not more hectic, I guess, when it comes down to it. So maybe just writing a list of questions on both sides, so that way you can make sure you are matching with a couple that you will, be really good with, as far as how much communication both parties want, because some do want all communication and some don't really want anything. So I think just being on the same page, being honest up front of what you want, what you're looking for, just makes everything easier throughout the rest of the journey.
And if I can add to that, I know that getting matched with the right family in the first place is definitely, EDSI does an amazing job with that. I didn't shop around with multiple agencies actually myself. I hit the lottery by contacting you guys the first time, and that's all there was to it. And I was just happy as punch. But for intended parents or surrogates or anything, I didn't get matched within a few minutes of trying to start the journey. I simply had to step back and let EDSI do their job, where they matched me with the perfect family. And they actually got it right both times, the first time, and there was a good connection. So for that, I'm thankful. Patient.
How much do your families play a role in this decision that for you to become a surrogate? How much do you did you discuss with your family, or was it basically your decisions where you say, this is what I'm going to be doing and you better follow this journey with me? Or was it something that you really had to maybe cajole either partner or parents or someone to go along with this journey with you?
I would like to.
My husband supported me. We talked about it for like a week, the pros, the cons, and this, that. But at the end of the day, I was like, I really, really would love to help a family. And he's like, okay, well, if this is what you really want, let's do this. But we did talk about it for like a good week before I reached out to you guys. Like,
One of the most important unsung heroes of the entire surrogacy journey is the partner's husbands, I think, because as amazing as you surrogates are, being on a lot of shots and hormones, sometimes it gets challenging for your partners. So the fact that they are very patient and they support, I always salute them for that.
Absolutely.
What was your experience with, Shara, what was your experience with your family?
Well, I would joke and say, I would like to say that I put my foot down and said, this is what I'm going to do this week, but that's certainly not what it was. Both the first time that I tried with the journey, and then also the second time, my family, my extended family was pretty involved. And I say extended family, like one of my embryo transfers with the first family that I was matched with, my stepmom actually joined me and traveled down from Northern California and was able to join me, and she kept me laughing the entire time. So it was quite entertaining to have somebody just present. So I was not sitting in a room necessarily by myself while we just take the time to breathe after that transfer time. And this time also, I was away from my son for his birthday, but I was able to talk to my dad, and who was off traveling. And it's great to have everybody's support all the time, because it just makes it that much easier to explain, oh, I won't be home for Christmas this year, but this is what's actually going on. And everybody gets excited with me, which is great.
Yeah, it definitely helps a whole lot. My husband was pretty supportive too. Ultimately, he said, it's your choice. I'll be there to support you if this is what you want to do. Are you sure? Okay, I'm with you. And he did all my shots. He literally did every single one except for when I went to do my transfer. My mom actually came with me. She was supportive too, and she did my shots, my transfer. So I never had to do one shot, which I could if I had to, but since they were willing to do it, I'm like, okay, here we go. So that was nice. They were both my rock stars, helping me through the whole thing. So it was pretty easy.
One of the things that really amazes me, especially within the conversations, I wish that our intended parents could be flies on the wall in the conversations that the surrogates have in the Facebook group. And one of the things that everybody should understand, I think, is the amount of commitment that it takes for you. You can't be off one day. You can't say, oh,
Yeah.
like doing the shot today. You have to do it, and you have to do it on time, and you have to go to the appointment when you need to be somewhere, and you got to take care of what you got to do. And and this is the most difficult part that I've seen, that you as surrogates do, that you really commit to the most amazing endeavor, and you do it, you see it through. And all of the celebrations that we've done with every single one of you when you had the last shot.
Yes. I think we all post last day.
Thank God. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I kind of got numb to them after a while, but yeah, and at first I was actually doing them too low, which it's crazy how much of a difference the correct spot actually makes. So when you do start doing the shots, ask the girls for videos or pictures, and I'll even post pictures. I think I even sent you one maybe of my back because I was doing them too low, and it makes you sore when you sit or when you walk. It makes you sore. So I actually had a nurse circle on my back the correct areas, and it was a little bit higher up, and I wasn't as sore anymore. I could walk, I could sit, I was totally fine. So it's amazing how much just a little difference of where you put that shot, it really, really helps. So once I got in that higher spot, I was like, okay, do it, we're good.
I think if I were to ask, I know what the answer to this is. What was the most challenging thing about being a surrogate? And I think you would all say the shots. Now, but what
That's
I,
how long it was.
sorry?
Yeah, I think about 10 weeks long.
Yeah. But what was the most favorite thing for you in being a surrogate?
Mine was definitely having the mother in the room during delivery with me. Just she was holding my hand. She was so excited just to see her face. And when the baby came, and we were both crying, and she was just thanking me. And that was the reason I did the whole thing. That was the best moment.
I love that.
I'm looking forward to that moment.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a good moment. I have to say I have the same favorite moments. It's the end of the journey.
Was it different for you as far as whether you had relationships with the intended mother or the intended father? Was there any difference in the way they communicated with you?
For me, my first journey, I only had communication with the intended mother. Um, he just, I just, it was never there. But for my other two journeys, the last two with the twins and then with Johnny, we have group chats. We have a group chat established just for the three of us, and we still use those group chats to this day. So everyone gets to chime in, post a picture, do a video, and we all could just communicate that way. So it's all good.
And Shara, how about you? I think you talk to the dad more
Yes,
because he speaks English.
yes, yes. But I honestly feel that the conversation is coming from the parents. Like I can imagine moms in the background going, ask her this, or can you say this? And I know it's coming both ways. So I feel like communication is still with the family, even though yes, it's technically more with the dad.
So tell me, what having sometimes intended parents want to know if you're working with a local couple or someone who speaks English or someone who doesn't speak English. Tell me about that, and tell me what challenges, what opportunities, what blessings you got out of that experience of maybe working with someone who was local versus someone who wasn't.
I think this technology that today, even if they're not local, it makes a difference. My first actually my first and second, they're both from Beijing, even though the twins are here currently located in America. They're both, I put a time zone on my phone. There's Google app, the WeChat, Translate. There's really no difference other than able to speak with them. When after I had the baby, they had their little tat that you talk into your phone and it translates and you can communicate just fine. Gotta
So
love
there's
technology.
no other challenges with that.
Yeah. It is, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate a whole level when you can actually communicate without a device, like hold on, let the device do its thing, but we were able to communicate just fine, even with the language barrier. So
Yeah, and ESI has so many translators for us. So when we're on video chats or if we need a translator, they've got someone there for us. So that's nice. My parents, they were from China, but the mom is actually an English teacher. So she was very fluent in English. So we didn't need a translator to help. But dad wasn't fluent at all. So he would like message something in another language and the mom would kind of ask and translate for us. So she was kind of a translator, but most of the time I just spoke with mom anyway, and there wasn't any trouble at all. But if it, you know, being local or not local, it really didn't matter to me, I guess, because I knew there would be someone there to help us if either of us had questions, someone would be able to help us communicate. So I wasn't worried about that at all.
And you, Shara?
I think that anytime you want to communicate, you just make it happen. Charlene said it perfectly, that there's so many means of technology out there. Yeah, it does make it a little bit easier when you do speak the same language, but really when you just want to communicate,
You make it happen. Yeah. And the decision to either carry twins or singleton, or having the experience of having carried twins versus singleton, how did you decide on those things? What were going through your minds when you were thinking about whether you want to carry twins or singleton?
Didn't really matter. They asked for 2. I said, let's give it a whirl. I think the only difference I can complain about having a singleton and twins, when the further along with twins, boy, does your back hurt. Other than that, like more than usual, your back does hurt with singletons as well, but it really hurts with twins, especially when you're waddling at the end trying to support all that weight. But it was just the same. That's the only real thing I have complained about carrying with twins. So.
And Amanda or Shar, was that something that you had considered, whether you would carry a singleton or twins?
Yeah, I'm so open to both. I've never carried twins before, so it definitely would be a new experience, which I think is kind of exciting to see how it feels to carry twins. It would be the only thing I didn't want to do is go on bed rest, which I know that happens a lot, and I could if I needed to. That wouldn't be a problem, since my husband is very helpful and helps a lot with the kids, especially during my journey. So it wouldn't be a problem if I needed to, but it would just kind of, I guess, be a little hard to not be up walking around as much as I do with my little ones. But that was my only real worry. Other than that, I think it would be kind of fun actually to experience twins.
and I agree with you. Like I'm absolutely on board with either doing a singleton or a pregnancy. My mom's a twin, so I could boast in my grandmother that I did it too. So
Yeah.
Didn't have the blessing this time, even though we did a 2 embryo transfer, but it would definitely be something I'd be open to in the future.
Yeah.
And we still have to see whether it's going to be the boy or the girl.
Yes.
Yes.
The next step of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter to you whether you're carrying a boy or a girl?
No.
Not at all.
Has the experience of the pregnancy been different?
The only
I don't
one I
have
can
much
say is,
experience.
yeah, I was about to say the only one that's different is the twins, but that's because there's 2 versus 1.
Yeah, I think they actually were different than my own. So I have 2 of my own, and I didn't get any morning sickness or anything like that with them. But with the surrogate baby, I did have a little bit of morning sickness at my first trimester. So that was a little different. And I didn't know if it was maybe the meds first or just carrying maybe a baby that didn't have my genes and everything, if that was different. So what was interesting actually is I would try things that would normally work, like Tums, things like that. They didn't work. And I asked the mom what were some of her and her husband's favorite foods. And they love seafood and they love sour. And I don't really like sour stuff, but every time I had to eat sour candy, that helped my nausea. It went right away and I was totally fine. So I'm like, yep, you're a baby. Like, love sour stuff. It was funny.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're not, so we don't use your genetic material. But I want to dig a little bit deeper on this issue. When people ask you that, how hard is it for you, how difficult is it for you to give up the baby? How much of that consideration for you is, well, I don't have a genetic link to this baby versus just, I've nurtured this baby. So talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest misconception, because I think because there are traditional carriers, and that's why they think it's your egg or partly your baby. And I'm like, no, the baby's already created. It's usually already a 5-day embryo, so it's already a little baby. All they do is put it in and baby grows. So it's already created of mom and dad's genes. None of it is my genes. Maybe a little blood to help baby grow, but like there's nothing that's tied to me. Like, so just I think education is huge there, just knowing 100% this is not my baby, this is their baby, and explain to everyone else that it's 100% their baby just helps everyone understand more.
Absolutely. And I know also, because I just now had my heartbeat appointment last week, it was definitely different from having my own ultrasound with my own babies versus having an ultrasound where I see somebody else's heartbeat. And the best way I can describe it is I was just as happy for them, but not as, it was not the exact same sort of an excitement that I had with my own babies. When I heard my own baby's heartbeats, I was brought to tears because that was my legacy. This one, I was a different sort of excitement to say, oh my gosh, we've made it this far. That means that we're this much closer to you guys having your family. And I'm excited for you, but completely different.
Yeah, that's perfect. You're excited for them. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That's a great answer.
So it's more of a, you know, everything that you're feeling, in a way you feel like you're feeling it for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And does your do your friends share that excitement with you? I know for example, one of the issues that we always have is the friends for the surrogates who want to throw baby showers for them. and
I've gotten that.
You've had that before, yes?
Yes. I'm like, no. That's funny.
And
My mom actually. Sorry.
And do you share this with the intended parents, or do you tell your friends, well, this is not my baby, so I don't get to name the baby, or I don't need, you know, unless the intended parents ask you to name the baby, which they sometimes do, you know.
Did.
You don't get, you know, that you don't get to keep the baby or to decide anything that's really important about the baby.
Mm-hmm.
All of my friends have been supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've all been supportive. They're every time I have an appointment, they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I also send them little clips of videos because they're just as excited as I am, knowing that it's taken this far. I mean, I was matched with the family that we're on the journey right now at the end part of last year. So we've come a long way together already. So, and my friends have been part of that journey, and so is my family. So, it's great. They're not wanting to throw showers though.
Yeah, well, my mom wanted to actually throw a shower for the intended mother. So since she was going to be down here for a few months, she's actually staying till the end of the year. So we did get her some stuff, but I'm like, I don't think she wants all that. Maybe just her and I will go shopping, get some stuff, but I don't think she wants to shower with a bunch of random people. So it's kind of funny, the other perspective of outside people, I guess, friends, family. Like my friend, she's like, are you gonna have a baby shower? No. I'm like, why would I need that? Like a celebratory dinner? I'm like, maybe we could do that. It's kind of funny.
I think, I don't know how many people will find that funny, but my husband took great joy when people found out I was pregnant. Like, your wife's pregnant. He goes, yeah, and it's not even mine.
Oh yeah,
the people's faces, and you're okay with that? Well, I signed the papers. I hope I am.
Yeah.
He took a great joy in that. It brought a lot of like, what?
I was in another state with one of our surrogates because she was going to have a transfer. One of my friends had texted me, you know, where are you? And I said, I'm here to get someone pregnant. Not realizing that, you know,
yeah, what it sounds to them.
And then I was thinking to myself, how many men might get to say that and their wives would not get upset.
I guess my husband loved doing that. He found great joy. So when people didn't know about it, he's like, yeah, and it's not even mine. And wait, what?
See their faces.
Yes, the faces.
In those questions, a lot of curiosity comes out.
Yes.
And, you know, questions that people ask. what is it that mostly people want to know when they find out that you're a surrogate?
They most of the time, boy, girl, do you know what it is? Which I'm like, yeah, they already know what it is. That's mine usually go to when it comes to surrogacy. And then usually it's the attachment questions. Aren't you scared of your getting attached and stuff like that? Which then I give them my answer. And then they ask about the financial part. And that's usually when I say, mind your business.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
So those are usually the go-to questions.
You know, it's interesting to see how the subject of surrogacy has changed in, you know, and the way people talk about it in the society. Usually, I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. So, and when I started, not too many people really discussed either egg donation or surrogacy. And I remember when I think usually these things come out through comedy. And the first show that I remember, first of all, Phoebe on Friends was a surrogate for her brother, if you remember. And so everybody was talking about that, but in a very comedic way. And then I think the other movie was Baby Mama that came out that was about surrogates.
Yeah, that one was funny.
So it is, you know, it's challenging to try to explain to people that that's not what surrogacy is all about, you know, and that with all the good, bad, and ugly of it, I mean, at the end of the day, the most important message that we have for intended parents is the message of hope, is the fact that what you guys are doing is giving a blessing and a miracle, and most importantly, a hope to a couple or an individual who couldn't have that hope otherwise. And one of my friends put it beautifully one time. You know, she said it takes a lot for a woman to mourn her own fertility and then get to a point where she says, okay, I need help. And I need help from either another woman to help me with her eggs, or I need help from another woman to help me carry a child. And so, and then to fall in love with that person who is going to be helping her, which they do. They fall in love with you. And I'm sure that, you know, the moment that you meet your intended parents, there is that immediate connection. And the fact that you know you're making their lives complete, and in a way they're making your life complete and your journey complete. So you guys are truly blessings. You're amazing, and you're blessings to so many families. You know, I always say I've had over 1,000 babies, and every single one that's born, I feel like they're my own.
Oh.
You know, that's exactly
the whole journey.
Yes, many journeys. So I want to thank you guys. I want to let you know. Oh, I have a question here. I'm sorry. Let me just answer. Let me ask you this one. What was your work schedule like during your journeys? How did you handle work and being pregnant?
I'm actually still at work.
Okay.
With both of my pregnancies, my personal pregnancies, I was able to work until literally the day of delivery. I'm hoping that I'm going to be that lucky for this family as well. But my employer is pretty flexible in saying, you have a doctor's appointment? Okay. It's all about work-life balance. And yeah, I enjoy working, but having a journey is not, it's not holding me, if you will, not holding me back from everything else that I've got going on in my life. It's just, it's a new aspect of my life.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you feel like had you been able to stay home, that it would have been better, or you think it really didn't impact your pregnancy that much, or is not impacting it that much?
No, I think there's, me personally, I think there's a lot of healthiness in having a focus on getting up and going to work every day. I have a feeling that maybe my pregnancies wouldn't be as easy if I had to stay home and think about the little waves of nausea. So it's definitely great to be able to come to work and have a family that is okay with me working, as long as it's always medically safe for me to do so.
My work's been really great with me too. They've got really great benefits. They've got medical leave, and so anytime I had FMLA, if I needed to go to a doctor's appointment, so I still worked full time, but I worked at an office job, so I got to sit. It wasn't stressful on me at all. They even did nesting leave, which was 4 weeks before my due date. I actually got paid and I got to stay home, so that was kind of nice too. That's how I could go make these appointments with the mother and go with her whenever she was able to go. So it was really nice. It was easy work-life balance for me too.
Excellent. And Charlie?
I was actually on the go retail with my first 2 journeys, which I actually worked all the way up until I think I took the last 2 weeks off for my twins before I popped. And I even went early too. I went at 36 weeks, which is still a long time, but went a little bit early on them. I loved it. On my last journey though, my husband got relocated to a different base for military. He's not military, he's just contractor for military now. And I actually quit my job because we got moved, and I actually did not enjoy staying home. I missed my busy life working and kids, and it slowed me down, and I actually got to put on an extra couple pounds because of it. So I think my work was understanding about it though. I never had issues working and balancing all that out with the kids.
Excellent. Amazing. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this call. You guys all have amazing stories and journeys. Shara, Amanda, Charlene, thank you. Any intended parents or surrogates that are on this call or that will listen to this will benefit greatly from your wisdom. And I look forward to continuing our conversation with the intended parents or future surrogates. If you need to reach me, you could just please call me at 310-697-8775 or visit our website and reach out to me. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. And I look forward to many more journeys with you in the future.
Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.